Welcome to the Wholesaling podcast. I'm your host, Chris Arnold. As always, glad you joined us today. You know me, I like to do different podcasts. I get bored with kind of the same type thing. So I'm always like, okay, how can I make this interesting or different for you guys from what you hear again and again? And so obviously you guys know we've been talking about REsimpli. The reason you don't hear me come on and talk about 10 different products is because there's now one product that literally does 10 different things. It is a one-stop shop. I like to call it a business in a box for your business. And one of the guests we have on today, I love what he says is, I just don't need anything else. And so that's probably the best way to put it. So today I have Yahavy on, who's been utilizing REsimpli for 2 to 3 months at this point. This is the first time I met him. I called the owner, Sharad, who is on with us today from REsimpli, and I said, Sharad, bring me somebody that's been utilizing REsimpli, and I want to interview them about the impact on their business. Not someone that has come through REI Radio or someone that I have a relationship with, someone I've never even met. Because let's have real talk about what this is going to do for someone's business, because it's been huge, and I've gotten incredible feedback and a lot of thank yous from people going, Chris, like this CRM, this thing REsimpli has changed my business. It's everything I need in one place. So here's what you're going to get by the end of this podcast. We're going to walk through with Yahavy his experience so far, like what it's done for his business, like practically. And then also I always like to bring in Sharad because he's the owner, so I can kind of pick his brain at the same time. So we're going to have a good time with this. So welcome to the show, Sharad and Yahavy. What's going down? How are you, fellas?
Good, man. Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay. So Yahavy, you've been utilizing REsimpli for 2 months so far. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I asked you, I said, okay, practically what has this thing done for your business? Like, don't give me any fluff, like straight to the point. And you said, like, without blinking, first thing out of your mouth was increased efficiency. Like, you didn't even have to think about that one. I didn't have to pull it out of you. What have you seen on this? Because you said something that I thought was incredible, and that is that REsimpli does the work for me. And I was like, wow, that's really well said. So how has this done work for you? Like, what is actually happening in your business on efficiency?
So, to dive into, my experience with REsimpli, it does the work for me, with the drip campaigns, with the CRMs, with the automation system, with the web forms, so many different contacts. Not just the system, but the service with the system changed the game. So it's like I have my own team of virtual assistants, right? As a solo entrepreneur, as a wholesaler, you start by yourself, right? You're on your own. But, signing up with REsimpli, I feel like I have a whole team, right? With Danielle, with Sharad, everyone's been extremely helpful to make the onboarding process more so educational. And it also addressed my pain points as far as the type of leads I should be targeting. Based on the feedback, it also increased my efficiency. So I broke through the process of, damn, do I want to do a cold call? Boom, RVMs, right? Text messages, emails, postcards. You could do postcards within the system. So it really increased my overall efficiency reaching out to leads at volume.
Because this allowed you in one system, rather than a la carte, to have a texting system and RVMs. Again, I've been there. I paid for all that stuff. Cold calling, you have it housed all in one place. So you can log into one system and you can start sending mass texting out, or you can start doing RVMing. And so practically, like, what are you doing that's really working well right now? Is it texting? Is it RVMing? Like, where are you getting actual results from?
Well, I'm getting more result from the drip campaigns, because the way I do my lead gen is I target New York, or I'll target Ohio or Texas. I'll put them on a campaign, and what my drip campaign looks like, my first form of contact is the SMS. My second form of contact is the RVM, followed by another SMS. And one of the things I love about REsimpli is there's no limit to the follow-up. If you're in this, the money's in the follow-up. So I don't have to worry about following up. And it also does those little set auto reminders for me to say, hey, Sharon, hey, calling about the property. So the RVMs and the text message have been really efficient. You could previously record a ringless voicemail and, really fluff it to be a follow-up. I have one that says, hey, just following up, Sharon. And I have that first point of contact. So different variations in one system.
That's good. So you said a couple things, and it's funny. I had Don Costa on, if you guys listened to that a couple episodes ago, and he said something I thought was so good. I've repeated like 5 times. He says, I treat my follow-up like an entirely separate marketing channel. Like it's its own marketing channel is the follow-up itself. And I was like, that is real well said. So what I hear you saying, Yahavy, is that this sequencing that REsimpli has created for you is amazing, because you're automating and doing texting, RVMing, like all of the above, reminders, like it's just doing the work of all of these people behind you, telling you what to do or doing it for you. Is that right?
Absolutely. All in one. And there's so much things that you could integrate with the SMS template, with the onboarding process. And there's always something new being added into the system. And they also sent me Loom videos, right? So if I was having, say, a troubleshoot issue with, activating my auto follow-up, because I have call forwarding, which I love. I've had the experience of, me calling sellers. They didn't, obviously want to be called. They're cursing me out, but they're cursing out the numbers that I purchased within REsimpli. So there's unlimited phone numbers that you could have with your account. They give you 5 numbers with the account, which is just unbelievable.
That's awesome. So Sharad, we're talking about your baby that you've created, and now you're seeing the fruit of like, hey, I want to do something that's going to help the real estate industry. That's why you built this thing. What are you feeling right now as he's talking about in the trenches, using your stuff the way that you like pictured it would be used? What are you hearing?
Dude, like I'm literally getting goosebumps. Like this is like more than like anything. This is exactly what I live for, what my team lives for. Is like people that we're creating this for. Like Chris, I know you've asked me a couple of times, like we're priced very, very, very competitively for everything that we offer. So it's not, our vision has never been, oh, let's like make tons of money. It's like, it's always been, let's add tons of value. And then what Yahavy is saying, it's just been amazing. Like another thing that's been really cool for me as the owner of the company has been some of the things that we are adding, like people are using it in a way that we didn't anticipate. So that's been like absolutely, like that's opened up our mind. Like we're coming out with REsimpli 2.0 in a couple of months, and just that's based on the feedback, like how people are using it. Like I, initially it was set up based on, hey, this is how I run my business. But then as more and more investors are using it, I'm like, hey, it's cool if it does this, and that's just been amazing, amazing, amazing feedback. So thank you, Yahavy. Thank you so much, man. And obviously, Chris, you and Sierra, you guys have been
we told you what
working
we felt
with,
like it needed to do on the beta side. So you listened to us as investors.
Exactly.
Because we were frustrated with
Right.
Podio, and we needed to find something that was going to take us to the next level. And as always, if you're tuning in, go to YouTube, subscribe it, Chris Arnold Real Estate, and you can definitely watch the video if you want to be able to see it as well. Because as always, it's funny to watch Sharad get excited over here about what he's built.
Dude, this is a perfect podcast. I don't have to talk much, and I can just sit in and
sit back and
yeah, it's perfect for me.
One thing I do want to mention, I actually listened to Wholesaling Inc. for the first time like weeks ago, and I actually saved this, and this is a line that I remembered, which is extremely important right now that ties in REsimpli. Time kills all deals. Time kills all deals. I have that episode saved, and time kills all deals. So when I initially make that contact, I think about the time. Okay, I reached out. Maybe I should wait 2 days for the SMS, 5 days for the ringless voicemail. So I just think more so time-based, and more so how you could help. So the system, again, it does so much more. And I'm so grateful, because I've met cash buyers on accident just because of REsimpli. So I called one number and it turned into another investor up here. So it's been an incredible networking experience as well.
I love it. So let's go to the second thing. I love this phrase. Unlimited onboarding is something you guys were talking about. Yahavy, you said it, and a lot of the students I work with are the solopreneur. I love the solopreneur because they're hungry, they're wearing every hat, They're like, whatever it takes, I'm going to grow this business. I remember when I was that person. I remember just being on my own, and there was such a purity about the business at that level because it was just hustle and make it happen. But you talked about that all of a sudden you kind of plugged in this REsimpli, and all of a sudden you felt like you were part of kind of a community. Like all of a sudden you had people working on your behalf, although they weren't on your payroll. So what was that like in the sense of them helping you set this up? Because I think a lot of times people sign up and all they get is like some videos to watch. There's no support to be able to call into, et cetera. What was your experience with this unlimited onboarding and help?
I've realized, being in the service industry, I've realized, people are going to remember you more for what you do for them. Right. And when Danielle went the extra mile,
and Danielle works for
REsimpli, right?
Yeah. She went the extra mile with the drip campaign. I originally wanted to do like a 6,000 lead blast, and she walked me through the process of how I should load everything up. And they just go above and beyond, making it more of an educational experience. So I felt like I am a part of it because I feel it genuinely. A part of the REsimpli family. I've referenced the link that me and Sharad did on YouTube to so many different wholesalers that's now starting out to avoid those hiccups, right? When I first started out, I kid you not, I used to write all my leads down on paper, like everything on paper. And that was a living nightmare compared to where I'm at right now. So I am so grateful.
I think we've all been there. I think that when you look back, and look, that system is better than not having any system at all, right? Writing on a piece of paper is better than just relying on your memory, especially as you get older. Yeah.
Oh man.
No, but I think for us, Chris, like that's been honestly learning process for us. Like, we cannot just create a product and then send some videos to people and say, hey, this is how you use it. And then honestly, like just expect people to like watch the videos. So we've taken the responsibility on us. Like our job is not to just create a product. Our job is like, we want investors to succeed, right? How do we do that? I mean, we can't use it for them, but at least we can get it to the point, hey, you sign up, here's a link. Like as soon as you sign up, now you get a link with a calendar. Hey, let's schedule an onboarding call. Let's make sure your system is set up correctly. Let's make sure everybody in your team knows what their responsibilities are. Like how to buy a phone number, like we have entire call flow system built in, so you don't need call rate, but we can't just leave it on investors. I mean, entrepreneurs are busy. So we can't just leave it on them to watch a video. So like, that's something we've noticed a huge positive change in the response that we've been getting. Is like, our job is to make sure investors are successful. So that's one of the things we've started doing now.
I think that's super important because, again, if you're not as familiar with REsimpli, we are saying typically you would have to buy all of these individual a la carte technologies that you need. Things like DocuSign, right? Everybody needs to be able to utilize something like that. Again, you're utilizing something for text blasting. You might have a system that tracks your KPIs like Clipfolio or something. Imagine just getting rid of all of that and putting it into one place to where you don't really need anything else but this one system. And of course, we're speaking of just a very robust CRM system. So I really believe that with this type of system, if it's the only thing you need, to provide this unlimited onboarding is essential, because we want to learn to use this system probably at a level that we've not used any other software that we've needed to before, because it's a business in a box. It's absolutely everything that we need. So I get that. So I want to move on to the next point. Yahavy, you started talking about your cash buyers list, something practical here that you loved. Again, everyone is talking about, best ways to dispo properties. Do I email them? Do I utilize something like Active Campaign? There's been a lot of questions around that. Again, if a system does everything, this already houses an Active Campaign type deal where you can do emailing and blasting to your list. But talk to us, Yahavy, about how this was practical and efficient for you with your ability to come in and like send out text blasts to certain segments, like with one click and stuff like that. How is that actually practically working?
It really cut down my work hours, right? It would usually take, prior to REsimpli, so much hours to reach out to, say, 500 leads, 600 leads.
How are you doing it though? That's what everyone wants to know. Like,
Yeah.
what was eating your time? How are you doing it?
Well, I was doing the basic standard cold call before, and now I'm doing, I would set a call, set a call reminder for myself to go make a call, reaching out to a pre-foreclosure that I'm following up with, or I'm just reaching out to everyone with the old-fashioned SMS. But what I was doing before REsimpli, it was just all over the place. This showed me that with a system, you will be successful. So now I know my chances of landing multiple deals is a lot higher because I have a system that's not out of whack. I legit have a system that works. And yeah.
And so when you're dispoing properties, walk us through what that looks like. You got a property, you probably put it into a template the way you want to sell it. And what do you got to do in the system to get that property out to investors that want to buy it?
So I'm pretty much knocking that property out on an SMS template sent out. So if
So
it's a multi
texting to dispo, not email.
So I would do SMS. Sometimes I would do email. It depends. But I'm also in a lot of Facebook groups where it's a lot of real estate wholesalers. So there's different groups out there that I'm a part of. And it's instant access to, of course, there's other wholesalers, but those cash buyers as well. But to market in REsimpli, I would group everyone up. I would pretty much just, get cash buyers from wherever, load them into the system because I could do it myself on my end with the CSV file, then upload them into the SMS template and market to them right away.
Wow. How much time does that take versus what you're doing before?
To be quite frank, it really does not, I kid you not, does not take no more than 30 minutes. That used to take me, I kid you not, 7 hours, and I'm a full-time stay-at-home dad. So I got the little one here, and one of the things that was slowing me down was I couldn't be as efficient. Now with REsimpli, again, like it's I swear it's like night and day. It's given me so much more confidence to speak to something because it showed me where I was going wrong. I wasn't following up. No wonder I wasn't getting no deals. You don't deserve any deals if you don't follow up. So it showed me my weak areas too.
Well said.
Yeah, like it is what it is. But it showed me, it was more so an educational experience for me. So I've learned to improve as a wholesaler and humble myself in the process because there is so much more that I got exposed to. It's in the software. Like we're in the, like software is what's going to make a lot of wholesalers money, investors a lot of money. Clearly it's all in the software.
I agree. I totally agree with you. So if you have 500 people in a particular area that you want to text a property to, you push a button, it texts all 500, but it does them separately so they don't see each other being texted at the same time. Is that right?
That is correct. And the incredible thing about that is you could have, multiple different numbers and you could label it, hey, this one's going to be for pre-foreclosures. This one's for probates. This one's for vacant properties. It's incredible. Or you could label it state by state. And you could market to 500 leads with one phone number, just one phone number. Then you have those other 4 numbers that come with the account that you could repeat and market another set of 500, then another set.
I love it. Sharad, you want to hop in on any of this right here? Or you're like,
I think he's doing a better job of it than I would. Yeah. No, it's look, like some of the things, like my business is not wholesaling, like we're straight up fix and flip investors. So again, like these are things, like some of the things like he's talking about, like that, those are things like I was not using in my system, and I'm still not using like cash buyers, for example. Like we buy everything, we close on it, and some other things like assign to buyer status in leads. Like I have never used it, but that's the feedback we get from active investors like Yahavy.
It's funny to see someone using your system in a way that you don't, because you're running your business differently. That's
exactly.
See that.
Exactly.
So let's go to this last thing. Yahavy, you're telling me something interesting. You're like, I pulled an address off of Zillow and I threw it into REsimpli, and then tell us what you were able to do once you just threw the address in. Because you were like, this was kind of mind-blowing me how the system even does this.
Crazy system. It's crazy because I literally just did it the other day, and I'm still talking back and forth with that same seller right now. So I found a lead through Zillow. Then there was a property right under it. And I'm like, you know what? Let me see something real quick. So I copied the address, saved it, I entered it in, and I added new contact in REsimpli. You go right there. As soon as you log in, boom, new contact. You could add and store contact in, first, last name, property address, the zip code. As long as you have that, what it's going to do, it's going to auto find all that background information, including the square footage of the property. Then from there, of course, you have the address and you could just pretty much just market to the property.
Yeah, some of the other things we've done with that is like we recently launched it, I think a couple of months ago, is as soon as you enter a property address, we'll tell you who the owner is, whether they actually live at the property. If they don't, where do they live? And when did they buy the property? And not just when they bought it, like who was the person who bought it before them? How much? What are the property taxes? And if like what's the assessed value? So again, like you have this additional data point that you can make better decisions when you're talking to sellers.
Pulling a bunch of like background information.
Exactly.
Just by putting
just by putting the address. So all we need is just address, and we can pull the owner's name, mailing address, and a bunch of other information.
Yeah, and you could throw them in you could put them in a hot lead and a warm lead. So the second I would market to that specific property, I could batch them over into their own separate file. So they're not going to be on that same marketing campaign as the other current contacts.
Okay, man, I love that. So I want to start to kind of wrap up here. You said, and I mentioned this at the top of the hour because I thought you described it pretty well. You said, at this point, I don't need anything else. What do you mean by that with REsimpli? Like, why? That's a pretty big statement. You say, I don't need anything else. Why is that?
Yeah, because, I've looked at all of the systems that I've used in the past, and, it's not a knock at all the other systems that I have, but yeah, I really don't, because it's like, I would have to use different brands and softwares like, Textly, TextMagic, Go High Level, these other softwares to do everything that REsimpli already has all in one. What do I need a CRM base for if I already have one? What do I need a text SMS chain blast if I already have one? What do I need a call system if I already have one, right? Or direct mail, which they have, and skip tracing, which they have. So it gives me everything. All I need to do is dump in my leads, or dump in the cash buyers list and market, and that's it. And you put everything on that auto run. I don't need anything else. I could jump on podcasts, go play with my daughter, and knowing that I have my campaign set for 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have 800 leads that's going to get marketed to. The second they get marketed to, someone's interested, I have something going out for my cash buyers. Hey, I got this for you. So it's like, it makes me question, do I need a virtual assistant, right? But let me not get carried away. If you're reaching to that much volume, you also do need a lot of help. So it showed me, yes, it could give you everything, but yeah, that does answer it. I think that answers the question.
And that's, I think, the best way to describe it, why I'm so excited about it, because it literally is an entire business in a box. Get rid of all the a la carte stuff that you've been paying for, have a one-stop shop for everything. And on top of that, you're going to save a ton of money because the cost of this thing monthly is $100. We know that we roughly saved $500 a month in my company by getting rid of all those ancillary softwares and just housing everything into REsimpli. So just the fact that it saved us money was fantastic, on top of the fact that the system is really that good. So I love it. So if you're listening and you want to find some more information about it, again, Sharad's amazing. This isn't some type of system you're going to use and not get support or never get an opportunity. I mean, I brought Sharad I was like, Sharad, why don't we do a demo with a bunch of people I know that have signed up? And you just came in and did a demo, and I got texts from everyone going, dude, that was amazing. Like, the owner just came in and did a demo with us. Like, who does that? But that is because this is Sharad's baby and he wants to do the best he can with it. But what you want to do is go to REsimpli.com/Chris. And again, that's REsimpli.com/Chris. Sharad, with the domain we gave today, the URL, what do they get with that? Because I know everyone always asks me again, discounts. So
so they get 20% off the first month, and they get discounts on additional services that we have. Yeah. And then, like, as we're rolling out new features over the next couple of months, and then as we roll out, they'll get discount on those. So yeah, definitely, if you're signing up, make sure you sign up from that, because otherwise we won't know, and then you won't get the discount.
I love it. So REsimpli.com/Chris. Sharad, why don't you bring this home for us, buddy? Now that you've been down this road, what are you most excited about with REsimpli? Like, what is getting you out of bed right now? Is it guys like Yahavy that are coming in, you're actually seeing the fruit? Is it maybe some things that are coming down the pipeline you're working on? Like, what are you most excited about with REsimpli right now?
I mean, there's like a couple of things. Like it's the guys like Yahavy, like active investors like Yahavy that are using this system, giving us like amazing feedback and using in certain ways that we didn't originally anticipate. To be honest, like once you have people start using it, so that's the one part, like that's helping us grow. And then like we're super excited about like next 2021. I mean, like the things that we have planned, it's going to be amazing. I mean, we've learned a lot as a company this year. We've grown a lot. We've onboarded hundreds of investors, so we've learned from that experience. And now our goal next year is like just to make it like an amazing like system. Like just like there's a lot that's coming down the pipeline, and it's going to be amazing. I'm excited.
And I know that's true because you're not going to stop until this system does literally everything. Other system. That's it. It's
exactly. Yep.
I just want to coin it right. I don't know if you knew this. This is the everything system. Amazon is the everything store, right?
Yep.
REsimpli is the everything system. It's just going to do everything for you.
No, I mean, like just the things that we're working right now, like it's like we have REsimpli 2.0 that's coming. It's just I'm excited about it, man.
I love it. Well, Sharad, thanks for coming on. Yahavy, thanks. Great to meet you, man. Glad we got
thank you. No, I want to thank you for having me on. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to, of course, share my experience. Sharad, I'm so grateful. But I'm
absolutely, man.
So thankful. Chris, I told myself I was going to ask this question, but can I add you to my buyers list? Can I add you to my buyers list?
Absolutely.
I got a condo in Atlanta right now.
Be my disposition, lady, but yeah, you can add us to your buyers list. That's not a problem. I haven't looked at a deal in years, but that's obviously what we're all trying to get to, right? Get that business to run without us. So.
Oh man.
All right, man. Well, great talking with you guys, and to the rest of you. Until we catch you next time, we'll see you soon to add more value. Talk to you later.
Thank you.